Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and we are going to keep going with our eclectic project. And so I've got my papers that I've worked on, but now I'm going to go back through them. I've used paint, so I'm now going to use some different materials, and I think I might use, and I also want to bring in some black and some white. So I'm going to use maybe a big Posca pen, because this is, if you haven't used these, they are acrylic paint in a pen form, and they come in all different sizes and shapes of tip, little bitty, great big. So I'm going to lay these out here. You kind of want to limit yourself somewhat. And when I say white, I'm going to use that cream color too. I've got this little big whiteout pen. You shake it and squeeze it. It's the most opaque. And let's see, what else do I have? I have whiteout tape. Then I'm going to get a paper plate and get some regular paint and a brush. Okay, I kind of had to stop there for a minute. I just broke my rule that I talked about on the last video, which is limiting what you're doing because you get overwhelmed. I started gathering things and it's like, uh-oh, I need this and this and this. And it's like, no, you don't. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use my Derwent Inktense watercolor pencil. Here's what it looks like. And you can scribble on it and then get it wet, or you can get it wet and scribble on your paper, and it's kind of a watercolor effect. So I'm going to put some water in my bowl over here and just dip my pencil in it and do some scribbling, because my mind is kind of all over the place right now. So I'm just going to do some of this because why not? You always kind of want to add black, in my opinion, to whatever you're doing. It just adds something to it. And I don't have to do them all. I'm just going to do some just to get myself started because I haven't been up here. So I don't know if you've followed along with what's going on in my life, but I have a lovely niece and nephew and their 3 kids living with us right now. And so we went from 2 people in our house to 7 people in our house, plus a dog. We already had 3, so that's 4 dogs, and then 2 cats. So it's been quite a change, but it's been really fun. The kids, I'm helping them. I'm a learning coach. They're doing online school, and I'm one of their learning coaches. Their mom is actually the one that makes sure everything happens the way it should. She's the one that has to get in contact with the school and talk to them about things most of the time, but I try to help. And so, okay, now I'm going to take this fat one. Now this is a woody. It's by Stabilo, and they come in all different colors. And it's just of course, a wider, bigger format. Same thing, does the same thing, just in a bigger way. So anyway, my craft room is upstairs over our garage, and we had to also use this. It's a pretty big room. We had to use it for one of the kids. The girl is up here using it as her bedroom, and then one of the boys likes to do gaming up here. So we're all 3 sharing this space, and so I don't want to bother them. I don't want to get in their way and interrupt their privacy and so on. So it's kind of limiting me on my crafting a little bit. That's my fault, not theirs. I just need to get up here and do it. Once I'm up here, I'm okay. When I'm downstairs, I just kind of feel like, oh, I don't want to go up there and bother them. But now I have a white aquarellable, same thing, water soluble. And because it's white, it doesn't show like as much. Now, if I had black paper, let me try it on the color and see. See, it just doesn't, white never does quite do the same as colors or black. So it's not as big of an impact. Now, it would work as a resist maybe. And again, if I have black paper, which I do have some, it does show, of course, on that more. And so I don't really, it might work on this. This red, I don't know. It needs some help. I'll probably go over it with black. I'm gonna quit with that. And then I think I'll try this big, this one's kind of a mess. I've had these for a while. See, it's a big chisel tip. And again, if I don't love this, I don't have to use it. It's just paper, and I'm just playing around. So I don't have to make any big decisions. I'm just messing around and having a good time right now. Sometimes it's just the feel of it in your hand, the noise it makes. I don't know. It's just enjoyable to do crazy things sometimes. Let's see, this one. So kind of want to change size of format too. So another thing we need to do, and maybe not today, is get a big piece of paper and work, you know, like, in other words, if I wanted to do big circles, I need a big piece of paper. And then when I cut into it, I'll just get that piece. Where if you're always using the same size format, you're going to end up with kind of the same general look. So you want to change it up. You might even want to do some little bitty things, you know, maybe cut these up, and of course not with a big marker like this, but you know what I mean. Like maybe you make some smaller detailed patterns. And then I'm always looking now for patterns. So one that I like from, I used to do this in the job I had, is one that I call like a string of beads. And you alternate the circles. So to me, it reminds me of those beaded curtains, you know. They used to, well, they're actually probably back in style now. I don't know. They come in and out. Every generation rediscovers them, I think. But, and you can make the beads solid or change the colors. And let's see. Another one that, let's see, what was it? Oh, well, it was stars, because so any kind of mark, if you make it in a pattern, starts to be kind of pleasing. And of course, you can use stamps or whatever you want to create a pattern. Oh, let's see, let me put that away. This is another reason you want to limit what you're using, because it takes up a lot of room. Let's see, what else did I have? I was going to use white. Now the Posca white, it doesn't seem like it covers quite as well. The whiteout covers really well, but like this is a great big, so it'd be nice if it covers, but it's, so let's see. can see that watercolor pen is kind of incorporating itself into the paint, which is kind of cool. This has got that red under it, and I don't like it. So I wonder if I could just color it and make it go away, if I would like it better. I think I want to use a brush. Let me get my black paint. And of course, the size brush you use has a lot to do with what patterns you make. So I'm going to start with this small one. And course, I don't ever want to waste anything, so I'm going to clean my brush off, and then I'm going to take this page and just kind of blot this paint up like that. And so I think that is it for maybe the black and white. Oh, I didn't use this. Well, I'll let this dry. I'm going to let this dry. And then I might come back and work just a little bit more with my white, or maybe my white tape. So I'll let this dry. Okay, well, what I was going to do is wait for some of these big black spaces to dry. By the way, if you're wondering, like, Pam, aren't these all going to stick together if you keep painting and throwing them on top of each other? Yes, the answer is yes. They stick together, and that is why you have to not do what I just did, because I've got some stuck together. But if you see back in the other videos or photos I've got online, I've got a clothesline, and all it is a piece of twine that I've strung across my art room with clothespins. And so you can do these papers, and then you can pin them up to your clothesline and let them dry that way. And I'm going to need to do that because I'm about to do some wet work. And I've got the corals and the pinks kind of going on here. And so I'm going to use my woody Stabilo in the peachy color. Not sure what they call this color. I don't see it on here. And then an orange. And then I'm going to add some water to it and just see what happens then. So some of this paper will be less receptive than others. So let's see. I could spray it, or I could use water. I think I'll use one of my paintbrushes. So let's. It turns into a watercolor kind of paint. So mix with the black. Again, just play with it. And I can also wet it and just kind of do that. That color, this paint, oh, it's this paper. It's really slick paper. I don't think it's, I want to take it. I'm going to quit with that. The other thing I had is I brought out my Distress Oxide sprays. Here's the palette. Okay, here's another use for the word palette. Well, it's sort of similar. Whenever you get an assortment of something, you always want to paint a palette so you can see what it really looks like, because you can't tell by looking at the bottle. So you want to spray it or paint it on paper and label it so that you know what you have. So here, for instance, on these Inktense pencils, I have a palette, so I know exactly what each pencil will give me when I put it on the paper. And these are, actually, they're more accurate than you would think, but the colors are up here, so they're actually pretty accurate. But nevertheless, like the fuchsia, I don't know. It's easier to tell what you're going to get if you put it on a piece of paper. So always do that. And then these oxide sprays are weird because, well, they're made so that they look intense when they're wet, and then when they dry down to a really muted color. But the cool thing about them is you drip water on them and it doesn't affect. And you always want to shake them up really, really well. Now this is, remember the pages I mentioned, I have that kit where it's just basic Bible pages. So they're going to be a background of the Bible. No matter what you glue over them or whatever, you've got the word in there under it. And it's going to peek through and, you know, various. So what I'm going to do, and I'm also going to use this pickled raspberry, although it's a little intense. It doesn't quite line up with my color palette, but I'm not going to let that stop me. So I'm just going to spray on different on different papers. And the ones that I gessoed, this is not gessoed, this is gonna spray some on and let them dry, and then I'll drip water on them, and you can kind of see what happens. And some of these I don't really like anyway, so they're kind of, if I end up with something I like, great, and if I don't, that's fine too. So let's see. I've got some tissue paper here too that not sure. I've bought several different types. I need my clothesline. Oh, and then the other kind I'm going to use is Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. It's just a mica spray, and this one is Vintage Pink, which is just exactly the color I want. And also this is a Coral Reef. So these two are perfect color matches for this palette that I'm trying to do. And you always want to shake your mica sprays up completely because that mica settles in the bottom and it adds that sheen. This is just brown paper. So I'm just playing, can you tell? Hopefully everything doesn't stick together when I'm done, but I'm gonna have to stand up and put these on a clothesline for sure. And then the other one, let's see, is the Coral Reef. And the other thing that happens with these mica sprays, if you don't clean them really well and keep them going, is they stop spraying. So then you have to end up either doing this with them or pouring it, which is always kind of a mess, but it's kind of fun too. And you can just that, because of course I don't want to waste anything. Get some more paper out here. One of the prettiest papers I ever came up with, Franken-paper, was when I spilled a fuchsia mica spray, almost the whole bottle of fuchsia, and it just saturated a piece of Franken-paper that had all kinds of scraps of paper on it, and it turned out to be so gorgeous. I've never quite had the nerve to do it again, but I know that if I spill it, it'll be okay. This tissue paper, I don't know how it'll turn out with this mica spray. Hopefully pretty. Hopefully. And now this is actually, is this gesso? No, this is just, so that same kit that I talked about with that Bible pages, you can print it on just copy paper, you know, the thin paper, and then you can cut it up and use it to collage with. The other thing, this is a lot more expensive way to use your spray because it goes a lot quicker. And you know, if you take water and spray on it, it will activate this too. So that is something else to play around with. So here's what I'm saying, like you spray water on it, and then you can turn it into a more liquid, and you can turn it and twist it and get drips and different patterns from it. So like as time goes by, it will shift. So see how it shifts colors, and it ends up being really pretty. Okay, that definitely needs a clothesline. So I'm going to stop with this one and let you go and play. And thanks for watching the video. I'm going to go hang my clothesline up so I can pin these papers up. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.